Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is December 8th, 2024. This is episode 346. We are on the countdown to 20 more episodes until I get to my goal of 365 daily episodes of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. Stand-up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer Paul Green coming to you, sharing my dreams and my journey. I just watched a Neil Brennan Netflix comedy special, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I can't remember the title of it. Something about maybe feeling good or I feel good or something like that. And and he makes fun of like women who have TikTok channels where they're talking about their trauma when, they haven't experienced any trauma at all. And he makes a joke about how all of them are on a journey. I'm on my journey. And I'm like, I say that every podcast episode. So, touche, Neil Brennan. Man, he's a brilliant comic and a brilliant writer. But anyway, here I am. I am coming to you from Thousand Oaks, California. I drove out from Phoenix today, and I've got a gig up in Simi Valley, which is north of LA, about an hour and a half, and I will be headlining a very prestigious stand-up comedy show, which will be taking place in the back room of a Denny's. Yes, everybody, I have arrived. My dreams are coming true. When I started doing comedy, all the time, people would be like, well, Paul, sure, but you're never going to headline at a Denny's. And I said, just you wait. I'll show them. I'll show all of them. I can perform at a Denny's. You'll see. Well, I did it, everybody. If you just really focus, if you put in the work, maybe one day you too can be performing in the back room of the Denny's. But you got to work at it, okay? They aren't just handing out these gigs like Denny's hands out free Grand Slam breakfasts on your birthday, okay? You have to work at it. You have to really want it, okay? And if you follow my 8-step how to headline at Denny's program, you too can be okay, enough of the bit. I'm actually really excited for this gig. So there's a comedy show producer who I've known for 4 or 5 years now. And he just puts on these small sort of independent comedy shows at like coffee shops and restaurants. And I don't even know how he found me the first time. But I actually remember, oh, this is crazy. I'm having a random memory. So his name is Marty, and he booked me to do this gig at like kind of like a coffee shop, also up in Simi Valley. And I remember doing a gig like right when the pandemic was really starting to get really scary, but they hadn't quite closed down everything. And I remember doing the gig, and then when I was driving home, I needed to stop at the grocery store for something. And I popped into some grocery store up in Simi Valley, and it had just been cleared out. All the water was gone. All the toilet paper was gone. So much of the perishable food was gone. It's like this grocery store was like a ghost town. And that was the first time I remember feeling like, oh, is this the end of the world? Well, I'm glad I just did a comedy show in Simi Valley at a coffee shop. But anyway, that was one of my first memories of doing a show with this producer. He's a really great guy. Um, and he reaches out to me, even though he's in LA. He likes to reach out to me and book me on shows. I actually did a show out here in Simi Valley, I think back in like April, maybe April, May, somewhere around there. That one was held at a winery, and I had a lot of fun. So I will be making my way to Simi Valley. Well, I'm in Thousand Oaks, which is about 20 minutes away from Simi Valley. So I went ahead and just drove out from Arizona, and I drove out following a gig where I got to play Batman. That's right. You guys had no idea you were talking to Batman. So, as those of you who listen to the podcast may know, I do character acting with a fairy tale adventures company that mostly does princesses. So, anytime, some parents want to overcompensate for being bad parents, they can hire princesses, like Elsa or Belle or Moana or whoever, and just come out and, take pictures with all of the kids at the birthday party and do face painting and all that stuff. And so I randomly got involved with this company, and I've done a couple of characters. I've done Blippi, I've done Batman, and I've done Superman. And I hope to never do Superman again. But playing Batman is pretty fun. And so I had packed up my car and went out and played Batman, and I had a lot of fun, actually. I like being able to kind of play the Batman character and then just, I just kind of walk around this birthday party. The birthday party was outside at sort of this community park, and it was kind of a blended birthday party. There was like 3 kids who I think were all cousins, and it just seemed sort of like a big extended family affair type party. And I like kind of like interacting with the kids and with the parents. And then sometimes I can like make jokes in character that like only the parents will get. And the kids, it'll go like right over their heads. And you know, it it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Um just being able to walk around and go, "Yes, I'm Batman." So, I did that, then hopped on the road and drove from Phoenix to north of Los Angeles. I'm up out here in Thousand Oaks, and this is going to be the start of an incredibly long, arduous week. So, obviously, I drove to LA tonight. Tomorrow, I will be performing in Simi Valley. As soon as I get done with the gig, I'm going to load up, and then I'm going to get as close to Salt Lake City as I can in one night, which I will definitely not make it all the way there. I may have to see, it might go through Vegas. If it goes through Vegas, I have a friend who has a spare room in Vegas that I might be able to stay with. I'll need to look at, I'll need to look at the drive there, because I'm definitely not going to make it to Salt Lake City all in one night. And I don't actually need to be there. I just need to get there sometime tomorrow. But that's going to be a long driving day. And then Wednesday, I've got a corporate gig up in Salt Lake City. That's why I'm heading out there. And then I need to turn around right after that gig and then drive straight back to Phoenix, because I've got a corporate gig that's sort of in the afternoon. It's at like 3 p.m. back in Phoenix. So I've got to get from Salt Lake to Phoenix, leaving after my gig Wednesday night, which will be done about 8:30. And then I got to be in Phoenix, which is about 12 hours away, by 3 p.m. the next day. So, yowzers. It is going to be there's going to be some serious road warrioring going on. And then as soon as I get back into Phoenix, I've got 5 shows, 4 of which I am headlining at JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert. And I am very much looking forward to headlining those shows. So all kinds of fun stuff this week when it comes to my dreams in comedy and how things have been going. So with that, let's talk about Brené Brown's The Power of Vulnerability. And again, I am still in the introduction, and I have been commentating on the 10 characteristics of the wholehearted, as Brené Brown describes them, those who live wholehearted lives. And I am on the 8th characteristic, and the 8th characteristic is cultivating calm. What was it? Calm and stillness, or maybe peace and stillness? Calm sounds right. Calm and stillness, and letting go of anxiety as a lifestyle. Oh, man. Brené Brown hitting me where it hurts. If you follow the podcast, I've talked very openly how I've been in a state of almost paralyzing anxiety the last 2 days. And, man, yeah, now, is anxiety a lifestyle for me? Gosh, I hope I'm not that bad. I mean, I do get go through periods of some very crippling anxiety, but I think on the regular, gosh, this might be a huge blind spot for me. Now I'm beginning to question. I'm questioning everything about myself. Yeah, I mean, I have moments of anxiety for sure. And, sometimes I'll go through like kind of rough periods, but I do find it interesting that she says anxiety as a lifestyle, because I think that probably maybe some pushback on that would be like, well, people don't choose anxiety, it's just how you feel. And yeah, yeah, there's probably some truth to that. And but like so many things in life, I do think that we probably have our default emotional response when we get triggered, which is probably a trauma response, a survival mechanism. However, there have been plenty of studies and evidence to suggest that in between the trigger and the response, that there is a space, there is a pause, there is an opportunity to use your conscious agency to deliberately choose a different path. Now, I am not good at that. I have had marginal, occasional success at intercepting myself when I feel that I'm about to go into an emotional spiral, and that allows me to intercede and choose to not go down that emotional path. But I don't know, because then, there's also like the other side of that, which is the whole idea that, we're supposed to feel our feelings and just allow the feelings to be felt and experience in them, and then let them dissipate, and get on with your life. Every time I'm in a state of anxiety, though, I start to go through this like philosophical loophole where I go, why am I even feeling this? It's because something has happened you know, something has happened. And then my brain has chosen to perceive that happening as a threat. So then it releases all of these stress hormones, cortisol and whatever. And then that, you know, has a physiological impact on my body to where, I feel a heaviness in my chest and I feel paralyzed and my brain can't think straight. And, I'm in fight or flight mode. And while I'm in these sort of prolonged states of anxiety, I'm also like I'm able to have a conversation with myself and go, none of this is real. It's all made up. It's all in my head. There's no threat here. There's no saber-toothed tiger trying to eat my head off. There's no marauders coming in to steal my harvest. I'm in no danger. I am in no danger. And yet my brain is responding to a threat and the stress hormones to put me in a state of high alert, high anxiety, fight or flight mode, just in case I need to, murder a saber-toothed tiger. But there ain't no tiger there. It's just all in my head. So, man, is that my lifestyle, though? Do I exercise anxiety as a lifestyle? Oh, yeah, maybe to a degree. Hopefully it's not as bad. Well, all right, everybody. Let's do our best, huh? Let's try to cultivate calm and stillness. I think it's calm and stillness. Whatever you want to associate with like being peaceful and meditative and calm in the face of the storm. Maybe there's a bit of stoicism there in the sentiment. And I get that. I get that. It is something that I have worked on a ton in my adult life, but man, do I have a long, long way to go. So let's begin, 'cause you've got a very, very long way to go. Okay. That is all, everybody. Let's try to be calm and peaceful, and let's try to let go of our anxiety, says the man who was in an anxious, near panic attack for the last 3 days. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, everybody, that's all for today. I love you all so much. This is the Paul Green Comedy Podcast for December 8th, 2024, episode 346. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow and let you know how my gig in the Simi Valley went in the back room of a Denny's.